Hello everyone, welcome to the demonstration of an incredible quality control software, Prudent DataVerify. So in this demonstration, we are gonna show you how to use this powerful software to achieve the highest possible quality of your um, database, or any kind of data entries in your Microsoft products. So if you are using any kind of Microsoft product like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Access, this software can extend its power to your application, to your project, and to your process to achieve the highest possible quality standards. So for this demonstration process, I am going to use a Microsoft Excel file. So this Excel file over here, which is the demo file.xls, it is in the format of Microsoft Excel 2003. This Microsoft Excel file has some entries. It has a mixture of entries. I've just opened this file in front of you. So this is having like 5 entries, 5 rows. So it's having like dates, it's having your numerics, it's having your alphanumerics, it's having your just normal strings. So it's got like all types of entries. So basically this worksheet over here in front of you is a perfect example or a typical example of how a practical real world database will look like, or an entry sheet will look like. So now on this sheet I have each column, as you can see, that I have named in the first row. Each column has got its heading, and each column over here, K, L, M, and each column has its own rules, its own formatting types, its own formatting rules. So this particular sheet, the data whatever is entered into this particular sheet should comply with the rules which are assigned to each one of these columns. Only then will this sheet achieve its quality benchmark. So to make it achieve its quality benchmarks, we have right now entered the data, we have the data in front of us, and now to measure that are we there yet to 100% quality. To see that, we are going to use our software, that is the Prudent DataVerify. Let me go back, and over here we have this DataVerify version 2.0. So this software is the version 2.0, and this will help you to read, or this will help you to scan your document for the errors. So let's double click on the software, and now the software opens. Now let's just minimize the screen. Okay, now let us just see what this software says. The software says, okay, Prudent DataVerify, the name of the software. Then it says choose your file to be scanned for errors, and then I say choose. Then over here in this window which pops up, I have to select the file, and the file I'm going to locate it. It is location Prudent demo. Okay, so here is my Prudent data file. So demo file is over here, the demo file is over here. I'm picking the same file, and I'm gonna choose the file, and now as you can see over here it's showing the path of the file that you have actually selected. In my case I'm using a Mac, so it is showing the file path in terms of the Mac operating system. But for the Windows users, it's going to show your traditional Windows path. That will be your drive, like C drive or D drive, and then the path and your file name dot the format. If it's Excel, or if it is a Word, it will show doc or docx. So over here they're showing the path of my file, and now I just say run. Okay, so now there is another window which pops up, which is nothing but the scanned output. So the software, what it has done right now is it has just scanned this the Excel file which is in the background. It has scanned that file, and it has shown us the output. Now basically for demo purpose I am having the Excel file open in the background, but when you use the software you don't even need to open the file. You only need to double click on this software. You just need to choose, and locate your file in the choose window, and then after that you just need to run the software. Just for reference purpose and for better understandability, I'm just having the Excel sheet in the background. So over here, as we can see, now the scanned output says the results captured at the date and the time. So over here we can see it is saying a lot of errors that have been caught by the software in the sheet that is in the background. So you can see, you can just scroll down, there are like many errors, which is not acceptable if you have to have very good quality. So our idea now is what we have achieved where the errors are. That itself, which would have been a tedious task if we had to do it manually or we had to use some other kind of process. So but this tool has just done it for us in just a matter of couple of seconds. So over here, now we'll just go one by one and we'll see what each error means. Now over here it says error in the record field at 0924. So now this 0924 it's just reading the value whatever is stored in the position D4. So it's telling it found an error at the location D4. Now let us see in our background file, this is the D row and this is the fourth row. So basically it found the error over here. Now the rule of this column was that the length of the file or the length of the string, the numeric string, should be 5 digits, but over here it just has 4 digits. So this is the error. So probably over here if I see it is nothing but 9245, 9246, then this is the error 9248, 9249. So the logic says over here it had to be 9247, which was missed out while entering the data. So I just make a correction over that. Okay, so I'll not rerun the software now. Let me just go through everything, let me correct the errors and then run the software. Now let us go to our next error, which it is showing. It is showing the mobile length error at +91 and then this thing. Now you can see this showing at the position E2. So we are having this E column and then the second row. So at E2 it is showing this error. So here basically the number of the digits in the mobile number you can read, you can count it, it's actually 10 digits, but the format of this column is it should be +91 and then there should be a space which is followed by the mobile number, as you can see in the cells below. In this particular cell E2 there is no space, so that's why it's catching up that error. So now I just give the space and I move forward. Now the next error, it says numeric string error at 2, position at J4. Now in the J column at the 4th row, I am having, it is showing numeric string error over here. Numeric string error at J4. So J4 is having 2. The rule of this column is that every number should be expressed in words, but over here it has been expressed as a number. So I just change it to word and I move forward. Now here title error at Mr. dot positioned at K4. Now I just see this over here. K is my title column, wherein the rule of the column is that it should just be words followed by the title. The title just have words and no special characters allowed. So over here, but this particular cell, that is the K4, is having a special character, that is a dot. So let me just go ahead and just remove it. Now I move on to my next error, which is double space entry error. So double space entry error, it says Shekharan Guna position at L2. Now over here, this is an interesting thing which actually the naked eye cannot capture. In this case, you are having, first let me go to L2. Okay, so now this is my Excel sheet. Over here, this is the L column and the second row. So the rule of this column is that, for example, any name, for example Shekharan Guna, this is a name, so each part of the name should be separated by double spaces. In the cells below, Each part of the name is separated by double spaces, as you can see there are like 2 spaces between Chetan and Gyadni. There is, let me expand this, then there is double space between Prasenjit and Kothari. There is double space each between Girish and Vijayvargi and Kumar and Girish. You can see there are double spaces. However, our software catched at L2 that there is actually just a single space between the two. So it captured an error because the sheet is not complying to the rules. So let me go ahead and just give it another space so that it will start complying with the rules. Now let me go back to my software. Then it says after space entry error at father name. Now over here at M3, we are having Gaidhani is the father's name. So over here we just, if we double click it, we just get to see that there is a space after the name, which kind of is not a good practice while presenting a data to somebody. For example, if your client is going to use this Excel file as its database, so when it is trying to capture the information through this Excel sheet, this space after the name can cause some kind of an issue in fetching the data. So we have even imbued such trimming functions into our Prudent DataVerify software, which will actually help you to be perfectly perfect. So over here we are having this Gyadni, and I just go ahead and remove this extra space and I move forward. If you see the other cells, they are actually not having any space. They are just perfectly trimmed to how much ever they should be. Okay, now let me just move on to the next error. Now it says NA entry field error at NA position N3. So I go to N3. This is the N column, and this is my third row. So here it says NA. Now if any field has no value, I am simply putting it as NA, but then again the rule of the column of NA is that the NA should be in caps. So over here I just I'm seeing that the NA is not in caps, it's not in uppercase. So this is the error which has caught by the software. That is like the font case error caught by the software. So I just go ahead and just correct this. And everyone, I would just like to make a point over here saying that such errors are literally not visible to human eye, especially when when you have a worksheet of hundreds of entries in front of you. This is a demo worksheet containing only 5 entries, whereas in a real world example, in a real world project or a process, you will have an Excel sheet consisting of hundreds or even thousands of entries. Sometimes it may even go to lakhs of entries. So in such cases, these entries basically is very difficult to track each and every error, each and every defect, each and every type of defect. So such things sometimes are condoned by our human naked eye. So let us move forward and let's explore the more powerful features of this software. Now we have seen the NA field entry error at N3 and we have corrected it. Now we go to the space after comma address, or the space after comma address or landmark entry error at. This is nothing but what the data it is showing. It is nothing but showing the value in the cell. And which cell is this? This is the X2 cell. So now we go back and we see it is a space after comma error and it is in the X2 field. So we go back, we go to X, this is my X column and the second row. So over here, this basically the rule of this column is that every string should be in title case. Title case meaning every word has its first letter to be capitalized and all the rest of the letters to be in the lowercase. And also wherever there is a comma, there should be space after comma and there should not be any space before a comma. So these are some rules which actually this software is capturing, and if you just see, if I just look at this data just like that, it is very difficult to identify such errors by the eye. So now if I just double click over here, there is no space between comma and 2, so I just give a space, and that is what the space it was saying, space after comma error. So I just correct it, I go back, now I see after space initialization error. Now see over here it is showing at x3 in the same column at x3. Now in the same column at x3 it is showing us there are basically, if we see everything is correct, if we just double click it, everything is correct. Then what is the wrong thing over here? But the wrong thing is there are double spaces between two words, which is actually not acceptable. So we just remove this one space, and by doing this we comply with the rule of this column. And now we just go to our next error type, which is over here. It is saying at x4, starting or ending with a space or special character in address landmark field error at, pan chs 304 302 k Everrad Nagar ngr and positioned at x4. So now let me just see what's the error over there. We are directly seeing that the error is starting or ending with space or special character. So we have to just go at x4 and we have to see whether is it starting with something. See at the start, when you just double click at x4, it is starting very perfectly. There are no starting errors. So now let us just go at the end. Now we see that there is no space at the ending, but there is special character. Special character is nothing but your comma. So now we just go ahead and delete it, because anything at the end ending with a comma makes no sense, and that is what this software is catching for, all the errors or the values which make no sense, so that our data makes some sense. Okay, now we have corrected that, and then we go back, and now we see after space initialization error position x5. So basically we are seeing that it's capturing all the errors in every cell of this address column. So, and there are different kinds of errors that you're seeing that it is trying to capture. Now you just see over here it's saying after space initialization error, okay, entry error at this. So now after space initialization error. So here if we see after space, after every space there is a space after a, there is a space after this comma, there is a space after this r. So now we see that the space after a is fine because it's got a capital S. Space after L is fine, it's got a capital A, single space, and then space after comma is fine, it's a single space and starting with a capital K. And now we come to space after R, which is followed by a lowercase p. So this is the error that it is catching. So this Kastur Park must be with a capital P. So over here we go, we have corrected this. Now let's do one thing. We have corrected these errors till x5. So basically from M3 to x5 we have corrected it. Now let's just close it, okay, and let us save this file, the corrections that we have made. Okay, now let us just go back and rerun this file. Okay, now in this folder basically first we just had 2 files, now we are having 3 files. The third file is nothing but this result log.doc file. This is your log file generated by the software. So we'll look into this in a few minutes, but as of now let us just rerun the software to check if our corrections have been made correctly. So basically the corrections that we have made, those corrections should not be caught by the software. So software should just skip those things. So I go to the same thing, I try to relocate my file in the same folder, and over here the demo file. And I choose this demo file and I just say run. It's showing the same path. Yeah. So see, did you just see that how short the list of the errors has become, right? So that just means that the errors that we have done till now, it is not showing any error from your starting column till the X column. the first error that is telling it's starting from the AC3 column. Okay, so it's not showing any of the errors because we have corrected those errors. Now let us just go and correct the further errors also. So now let's see full numeric string error. It's saying at position AC3. Okay, so let us go back to the file and let us go to AC column and AC3. Now over here this is so full numeric string error at NA positioned at AC3. So AC3 is the pin code column, and pin code should ideally be a number and it cannot be any character. So here there is just NA, which is not acceptable by the software as per the rules of this column, so it's throwing up a number. So let me just give dummy pin code. Let me just give it like Maharashtra, just some 4000001. Okay, so I'm not from Maharashtra, so I really don't know what's the pin code this points to, but then I'm sure it's not of the Thane pin code. So, but I'm just putting some pin code right now for demonstration purpose, but ideally in real world project you have to put the right pin code over here. Okay, so we have corrected it. Now we are seeing over here the second error, pin code length error at NA. So it's showing the same cell. So basically the same cell has got two types of errors. One is the full numeric string error since it was not numeric, and then the second error is showing at the same location. Over here you can say AC3 and AC3. So it is showing numeric length error because obviously the length of any pin code in India, it is 6 digits. So basically it's not meeting that criteria and hence it is throwing an error. Now we are going to the next error, which is the pin code length error. Pin code length error, over here we are seeing it AC6. If we just count it over here, it is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So basically there are 7 digits in this. Now we go there and we just make a correction, AC6. So this is my AC6. I make a correction and this becomes 6 digits. Since this is all dummy data, so I'm just making all the dummy corrections so that it complies. In your project or process, you will have to make the right corrections. Okay, so now that error has been corrected. Now let us just go and capture our next error. So now it says abbreviation string error in address landmark at address or landmark at opposite ITI Government College position at 83. So basically now it's capturing an abbreviation string error. Now abbreviations are basically, it cannot have a lowercase in any kind of abbreviations. Abbreviations have to have all its letters in uppercase. So basically over here we can see it's ITI Government College. The second I is having a lowercase font case, so we just go in there and we just correct it. We make it capital I. Okay, and let me just expand this column for your better viewability. Now the second error that we are getting over here is abbreviation at, although the value of the string is the same, but see the location is different. For demonstration purpose I have just given the same value. It's at 83, we corrected that. Now at 84 it is showing again the same errors. Now basically over here if you just compare these two, in the first one, let me just highlight the both. Okay, now if you just compare these both, in the first one you are seeing the abbreviation is perfectly correct. It's only the case, the font case is different. But in the second case, the font case is fine, but then the abbreviation format is different. Each abbreviation, as per the international guidelines, an abbreviation should be separated by dots and then also ended with a dot. Like in the first case, it's ITI dot. In this case, it's not ending with a dot, so software is capturing that and it is telling you, oops, you just made an error there. So let's go there and just correct that. So there it goes. Our software should not be catching this. We are right on track now. So now let us see our next error, which is shown by the software. Now it is NA field entry. It's the same error that we saw previously. The NA should be capitalized, it should be in uppercase, but over here it's in lowercase. Okay, and the position is AG3. So we go to AG. This is my AG column. So over here it's in small, I just capitalize it from lowercase to uppercase, and we have corrected that. Now over here it comes at the rate character error in email. Okay, so now this is an interesting one. In emails, it's sometimes very difficult to identify whether the at the rate is there or not. In records like these 5 records, it's very simple. It could be simple. It's still a little difficult to identify. It takes a lot of eye straining job to identify these small little errors. But then we don't need to strain our eyes so much, so we can just use this software to do that job for us. So let us just see. So it is showing where was the position. So it's showing at the rate character error in email at personjeet.kothari@gmail.com. So at the rate AK4, I mean at the position AK4. So AK column is over here. It's the 4th row, and so here we can see gmail.com, but there is nothing preceding the gmail.com. Now obviously everybody knows what should prefix the gmail.com. Even if anybody does not know, our software is telling what is not being prefixed is the at the rate character. So we need to put the at the rate character before the gmail.com. So that's why it's showing the at the rate character error in Gmail, in the email column. So let us just go ahead in AK4 before Gmail. Let us just put the at the rate character. So over here I have made the corrections, and automatically Excel just highlights it. Okay, I'm not bothered about it because later on we can just remove the hyperlinks. So let me just go ahead now. I've made the correction. Now this is the last one. So the last error in this file which the software has detected, it is this contact number error. The value of the error is this, and the position is AL5. So in my AL column, which is the last column of this entry sheet, it is telling AL and then the fifth row. Now you can observe that in the pin code column, it was showing an entry for NA to be a wrong one, but over here in this contact number 1 column there is NA, but it's still not showing. So over here you people must be wondering that this software is it behaving ambiguously. I would say that it is not at all behaving ambiguously. This software is just like your genie. So basically it's your genie. So you have to input your rules into the software, and then the software just works according to your rules. So basically it's your genie, you have to command it, you have to put in the rules. So for any column, if NA is accepted, it will accept NA. If you say the software that it should not accept NA, it will not accept NA. Okay, so that's why I said before that this software has the power to be extended to any process, any project which has to deal with Microsoft Excel or any other Microsoft product. So now over here, now let us just look into this error. This is contact number error at this value positioned at AL5. So we go back to the sheet AL5. Now over here the rule of this column is the value should be either NA, or if there is a landline number or a mobile number, it should take the proper format. Now proper format of a landline number will be the state code, that is nothing but the STD code, followed by a hyphen and followed by the actual landline number. So now over here we are having 022 is the the STD code. Then I give a hyphen, and then the hyphen is followed by the actual number. Okay, so as of now I have made all the corrections for this sheet as per all the corrections, as per the errors shown by Prudent DataVerify version 2.0. So now let me just go ahead, trust my Genie software Prudent DataVerify 2.0, and let me just save my corrections, and let me just close it for now, and let me just rerun the software just to check if I have missed out correcting any error. So now I go back, I just rerun it, I locate my file again, and I run it now. Wow, so it's showing everything blank. Wow, so that means the results captured at 225 at 25th second has got no errors in the sheet. So basically we have achieved the 100% accuracy for this particular sheet. Okay, so this is how the Prudent DataVerify version 2.0 has really helped us to achieve, correcting all the errors, all the little ones, all the tiny ones, the microscopic errors which you may call, which are not visible to the eyes but have been caught by the software, and we have successfully corrected all. Okay, now coming to the last part of this demonstration, the log file. Now in this demonstration today, we actually have run this software 3 times, right? So now let me just close this for now, and let me just expand this. So in this, now this is the log file. That's so 3 times it has been run. And now for example, a scenario wherein now I need to track what were the errors which were coming in the first run, what were the errors that were coming in the second run, and when was the first run of the software done, when was the second run of the software done, and how many error reduction happened, what were the errors, what were the new errors, what were the regression errors. All those things can be tracked, that can be recorded in this log file. So let me go ahead, open this log file. This is really, let me tell you, this is a very magical file and very helpful file that can really be a lot of help if you use it in the right way. Okay, so now this is your Word file. The reason I have kept the log file in the Word is to help you to edit this log file and to, so that you can format it in your own way, so that you can customize this log file as you need it. So over here I am having the results captured at 2. This was the first time I ran the software. Okay, at 14 o'clock at the 5th second, and the first time I ran it, you saw I got all the kinds of errors. Okay, all kinds of errors over here. Okay, now the second time I ran the software, okay, the second time I ran the software was over here. This is the first time, holding it. So over here is the second time, and then the third time. So now the second time when I ran the software, it basically gave me less number of errors. If you see in the first run, it is showing me right from D4 column till the AL5 column, but in the second run it is starting from AC3. So basically from D4 column everything has been eliminating. So you know rightly that after 15 minutes when the software was run at 2:15 and the 14th second, the errors which were there previously have been corrected in the second run. And now in the third run, which I ran at 14:25 and the 25th second, it's just blank. So what does the blank mean over here? It just means in the third run there were no errors at all. So it is so easy for you to have a complete record of your errors and to track the errors, what kind of errors have been recurring in your entry sheet. This log file, you can store it, you can store it, you can do anything, you can rename it, you can do anything with it. So this is for the demo. So if you have any questions, you can email me. Okay, my email is info@prudenttechnosoft.com.